Everybody, this is Jack from Long Walk Ministry, and I just want to make a quick note. This is going to be brief, but it's going to be very important. As we all know, these elections are very important, and I still hear from people of how they hate Trump. And I don't watch the news. I don't like to watch the news. It's too depressing, especially mainstream media. But I do keep up with what's going on and all that stuff. But I hear people, and I don't know if this is you or someone you know, but this is important, because I hear people, including Christians, okay, Christians specifically, which really bothers me, when they talk bad about Trump, about how they don't like Trump, they hate Trump, and Trump is not their candidate, and all that other stuff. It's one thing that they don't see what's going on in these last days, and I hear people calling them stupid and idiots. That's another video. But remember, we don't battle against flesh and blood. We battle against principalities and powers and all that. Ephesians 6. So they are being deceived. Don't call them idiots. Don't call them stupid. Pray for them, because they're being misled, as we were all misled at one point in our lives. And I speak from experience. But the point that I want to make is, if you're a Christian, okay, and you don't like Trump, I want you to remember something. And this is all throughout the Bible, but I was just reading 1 Samuel. Many times in the Bible, and in 1 Samuel, I'm going to read it in a second. Well, let me read it now, and then we'll go from there. 1 Samuel 8, okay? And it came to pass when Samuel was old, and he made his sons judges over Israel. Now the name of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of his second was Abiah. And they were judges in Beersheba. And his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside after lucre, and took bribes, and perverted judgment. Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together, and came to Samuel in Ramah. And then said to him, Behold, you are old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. But the thing that displeased Samuel, when they said, Give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed to the Lord. And the Lord said to Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people in all that they say to you. For they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them. That's the gist of the story, and I can keep going on, but the gist of the story is people were complaining against the leadership of Samuel. Samuel was appointed by God, okay? God appoints kings and leaders. And when the people rebel against that king or leader, they're rebelling against God. If you don't see that, imagine if you have a child and somebody hates your child or does not like your child. You take that personally. Or they say your child is a bad child or not behaved. You take that personally. And it probably makes you angry. God doesn't like it either. He appoints things for his purposes and for ours, because he does it for the benefit of Israel and people and those who love his son, Jesus Christ. And when we don't go and we're not pleased by it, and we complain about it and murmur against it, God doesn't like it. They did it in the Exodus. Exodus is a very important book right now, because Jesus is kind of I was reading Michael Heisner, but Jesus is kind of not a foreshadowing, but the Exodus was a foreshadowing of Jesus and his ministry, and you'll see it in Matthew if you study that deeply. But in Exodus, they murmured against Moses about everything, about the water, the food, and all that stuff. And I don't remember which one it is. I think it's in Numbers or Leviticus. But Moses cried out to God and say, they're complaining against this. They're complaining against me. They don't like me, or, basically in the same words. And God says, they're not complaining against you. They're complaining against me. They reject me. So if you're a Christian, I highly suggest you see what God is doing in President Trump. God is working through President Trump. Yes, he is. I can guarantee you that. It's not just me. These are major scholars who are saying this. God is working through Trump. And if you complain against it, he may try to get your attention, to get you to repent and get you to see. He's working through Trump. Don't murmur or complain or gossip against Trump, against anyone who God appoints. God appoints leaders for our good. If you have not voted yet, I highly suggest you seek the counsel of God before you vote. So you vote for God's candidate. The mere fact that God is interested in America right now is awesome. He cares about our well-being and his will, but he cares about our well-being. So I just wanted to say that. This murmuring and everything that Israel did and complaining and stuff, it's really not good, because you're murmuring against God and what he's doing. And I don't ever want to complain about what God is doing. I really don't. And I don't want anyone else to either. So I ask you, please, seek God's counsel on this and pray. So this is just a quick word. I love you guys. God bless you, and be safe. If God's candidate wins, I guarantee you Satan's going to be angry and he's going to retaliate. But that's okay. You know why? Because God is on our side. The Philistines retaliated against Israel. And what did God do? He defeated the Philistines time and time again. So don't worry. God has this. All right, guys. God bless you. I love you, and I will talk to you later. Bye.